Have you ever noticed that when you're having a really tough day, it can often feel harder to do the very things that you know will help you to feel a bit better? Stress management is one of those areas. So this micro moment of mindfulness that I'm going to share with you now makes use of something you might already be doing on a challenging day, which is reaching for a cup of your favorite warm, cozy drink. If you want to learn how you can live better with Pmdd, this podcast was created for you. This is Mindfulness for Pmdd with Diane. I'm Diane, and I'm a registered dietitian and lactation consultant. I'm also a mom, a Pmdd warrior, and a trauma-informed mindfulness teacher. And this is where I discuss topics related to Pmdd through the lens of mindfulness and meditation, and where I share all about how mindfulness has gotten me to a place of greater peace and acceptance with my Pmdd. I also chat with people who have helped and inspired me along the way, so they can share their wisdom with you too. So let's get started. Have you ever noticed that when you're having a really tough day, it can often feel harder to do the very things that you know will help you to feel a bit better? I know that on my worst Pmdd days, or in the midst of autistic burnout, I have many times found it harder to eat a balanced diet, or get in some exercise, or get plenty of sleep. And I'll have a harder time staying hydrated and taking my vitamins and supplements. And I myself have found it harder to act mindfully and practice mindfulness, even though I know it'll help manage my stress and regulate my nervous system. And that's totally normal, and in many ways, that's perfectly okay. It is a good thing when you can tune into whatever your capacity is on a given day and lean into that and honor whatever your needs are in the moment. For example, as an autistic person, on a rough day, I might rely on my quote-unquote safe foods. So those are the foods that I can always count on to be easy to make, never let me down, that I'll always be in the mood for, no surprises. And one of my safe foods is rice cakes with almond butter and a little drizzle of honey. And if I find myself reaching for that multiple times a day, because that's all I can manage, I don't give myself a hard time over it. Instead, I acknowledge that I'm going to the same food over and over again because it's what's getting me through a tough time. And as a dietitian, I also know that consuming a balanced diet and a wide variety of foods can help me with symptoms of Pmdd, and even in some of my autistic experiences and autistic burnout, and can help me with symptoms of perimenopause, which I think I've started to enter into. So in that case, I've been keeping a lot of berries on hand because right now berries don't give me the ick. And when I reach for those rice cakes, if I add some berries on top, I know I'm getting more fiber, more vitamin C, other antioxidants, and more fresh produce. The point is, this is one of those two things can be true moments. Pmdd and autistic burnout can both be absolutely debilitating. And perimenopause is no joke either. So there may be days where what we need is to just stay in bed all day and do the bare minimum required to survive the day. And it's also true that certain behaviors and healthy habits can really support us in perhaps having fewer of these experiences or less intense symptoms and sensations. And stress management and mindfulness practice is one of those areas of healthy habits that can support us through our tough times. And so what I've found is that I can actually use whatever it is I'm already doing to engage with my own mindfulness. I can meet myself where I am. So, for example, I used to take a pause whenever I got in or out of my car, just to have a moment to reset. And that pause was, turning everything off. So if I was listening to a podcast or music or something, turning that off and taking a moment to take some deep breaths and then just kind of bring my attention back to the seat under me or what I could see out my window. And so this same kind of mindful pause and reconnecting with the present can be done with other normal daily activities like eating, brushing your teeth, showering, or going for a walk. And so what you would do is find some stillness wherever you are, whatever you are doing, and then maybe take a few long, slow breaths if that feels comfortable to you. And finally, bring your attention to your experience in the moment, taking in the sights, sounds, smell, and sensations. So you might notice the colors and the fragrance of the food in front of you, or the shampoo in your hand, or the toothpaste on the toothbrush, or the sensation of the water or the breeze against your skin. So this micro moment of mindfulness that I'm going to share with you now makes use of something you might already be doing on a challenging day, which is reaching for a cup of your favorite warm, cozy drink. And of course, if coffee or cocoa or tea aren't your thing, you're welcome to use whatever you prefer. It doesn't even need to be a warm beverage. Just find yourself a comforting drink and a comforting seat. The intention is really to take a regular part of your daily life or something you're already doing on a tough day and build a little mindfulness pause into that moment to encourage yourself to slow down and reconnect with your present, helping your nervous system to feel a bit more regulated and helping your headspace to feel a bit more clear. So here now is a mini mindfulness exercise called Cup of Calm. The following is a mindfulness exercise or meditation. So if you're driving or otherwise distracted, I invite you to save it for a time when you can find yourself a moment of comfortable stillness and practice safely. If now's that time, let's get started. Hello, friends. This micro Zen is called a cup of calm. So, make yourself a cup of your favorite warm drink and find yourself a comfy seat. I invite you to notice 3 things in this moment: the color of your drink, the weight of the mug, and the feeling of the chair or your seat supporting you. Then, consciously breathe into your shoulders and try and relax them down a little. Here, if you like, you can lower your nose to your drink and take a deep inhale, noticing the aroma of your favorite warm beverage. And when you're ready, go ahead and take a sip, enjoying your cup of calm and savoring the flavor. Bye for now. Thank you so much for listening. If you liked the show, please subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. For links to everything mentioned in this episode, you can check out the show notes. And you can find me, Diane de Jesus, on Instagram at Mindfulness for Pmdd. Now, I invite you to pause, take a breath, and look around.